What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Who You Got with
Melo
and Rado. Is a sports podcast where we talk about your favorite sports matchups, sports debates, and sports highlights. And we got another one, man. What's up, Melo? It's fight week.
Yes, sir.
We're back in the
UFC.
studio, and we're ready to talk about another one, another good one.
Oh yeah, UFC is obviously one of my favorite sports that we do.
Right.
But by far, every card that they've thrown this year, or every card that they've thrown this year, has been better than the last when it comes to the main events. Pretty much every month, and this one, the main three cards, two title cards.
Yeah.
The main three fights, two title fights, are honestly just absolutely amazing.
Two title fights, and you got two guys that have, like, one has an interim champion, the other guy has a champion.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about UFC 273 that's coming up, obviously.
Yes.
It's going to be coming up this Saturday. I think it's April 8th, if I'm not mistaken. And we're going to be definitely this Saturday, so I know that much.
Oh, yeah.
And
we got some bangers of top three fights.
Exactly. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight.
In the order of first to last for the top three, we got Burns.
Yeah, what Burns versus Chimaev.
You already know that's about to be a banger.
Mm-hmm.
Time to finally see if Chimaev's really up to the hype.
Mm-hmm.
Right after that, you got the long-awaited rematch of Sterling versus Jan. Both fighters are been saying they're ready to close that chapter.
Exactly. You're ready to fight again against each other.
So definitely want to get that over with. And Jan's the one that holds the interim champion.
Exactly.
Sterling's a champ off the disqualification in the first fight. And then obviously the other co-main event is Volkanovski versus the Korean Zombie.
Yep,
so
Chan Sung Jung. Yep, the Korean Zombie. It's gonna be a
banger,
crazy fight, and I gotta agree with you that, like, I think the UFC has been putting out some crazy fights like all year long. Like, I mean, a lot of other sports, like, you're looking for those good matchups. Like, the NFL has great matchups, but UFC, like, every fight night and every card, the main cards are, like, really good. And in this one, the top three fights, they don't disappoint at all. So
not at all.
We're definitely gonna get into those, like, top three fights in this episode. We're just gonna go through those three, and after that, we're gonna talk about a little bit of championship implications, or where these fighters are going to be, moving on next, and
exactly.
It's going to be definitely fun to talk about some of these, because I know that a lot of these are close for me. At least when I had them.
It was hard to choose.
Yeah, for sure.
All of them.
For sure. I know that Vegas has them a little bit different. They have the odds a little different.
Disrespectful.
For sure.
Disrespectful.
That's
Vegas.
for sure. And we'll definitely talk about
Disrespectful.
that. But, I mean, why don't we just go ahead and get into it? I mean, the first fight that we want to talk about is definitely going to be a good one.
In the welterweight division, we got a very top prolific contender in Gilbert Burns. Basically, the only ones that's been able to put him down is the champion in Usman. And basically, that's after he almost caught Kamaru slipping.
Yeah,
a lot of people forget that. He almost actually put the champ out. But other than that,
down,
very good. Basically, number two contender going against an up-and-coming, hot and fresh, young, fierce contender.
One of the hottest in the UFC, I would say. Definitely.
10-0 right now. In Chimaev. So right now, Chimaev's been rolling through everybody. Last fight, he finally faced a top 10 contender.
Yep.
And pretty much beat him easily as well.
Yep.
So that's so here's my thing. All right. Well, first, let's go over to Teletake, because I got so much I want to say about this fight. So Gilbert Burns, 20-4. We got 35 age, 5.8 feet in height, 170 weight, and 71 inches.
That's good.
You got Chimaev, 10-0, hot and fresh.
Yeah.
27. He's 6'2". Weigh 170, obviously. Nice. And his reach is 75 inches, 4 inches taller than or longer than Gilbert.
That's huge. That's a huge advantage right there. Like 4 inches reach. I mean, he's got that 4 inches in height too, so it's a pretty big advantage.
So but that's the thing. He's used to being the bigger person in that division.
That's true.
That's why everyone gotta test. We gotta test his hype. Like, he's 10-0, all wins coming.
So what do you expect from him though in this matchup? I mean, I know that people haven't really seen him because obviously he's only had three big fights. The last three fights were his biggest fights of his career, pretty much. Obviously he's known for being a takedown specialist and a submission specialist. What do you expect from him?
I mean, he's definitely got skills. I know that for sure. First off, the Vegas odds are disrespectful.
For real.
Gilbert Burns is literally the number 2 contender in that division. Chimaev has faced 10 people in the UFC, and only one of them had a name that was even good enough for themselves. The fact that you got him being such an underdog is ridiculous. I find that disrespectful.
I mean, the fact that Chimaev's not even in the top 10 and Gilbert Burns is a number 2 contender,
and he's the underdog.
And he's the underdog, so that's...
My man is number 2 welterweight, 13-4 in the UFC with 7 finishes.
I mean, it's a beast.
You know what I'm saying?
Beast.
So, first off, we got to see if Chimaev is truly elite.
Yeah.
Obviously, he has that wrestling skills, a prolific wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
He has this little style that is not... It's not like American. It's not like the Greco or traditional. It's also not like the Dagestan wrestling that's becoming more popular. He likes to just be brute with it. Like, just pick him up, throw him
down,
like just rub him against.
He's done that a few times. He's like smack, like pick guys up. I remember he picked one guy up. It was like 3 fights ago. He picked him up, took him to the other corner because he didn't want him to be in his own corner. Like so.
So he has a different style of wrestling, but his wrestling is his most prolific part of his game.
Yep.
The part where he needs to still get tested is his striking.
Yeah.
He hasn't needed it yet. He got power, but his skills has been pretty much subpar. We haven't really seen him where he could throw combinations or anything like that. He's usually the larger, bigger, stronger
I agree
fighter
with that.
all the time.
Always, yeah.
So he picks his range, uses his kickboxing, waits to land a big one, because most of the time they're scared of that takedown. You know what I'm saying?
They don't want to go down with him. Is the thing. Like a lot of these guys don't want to go down with him. I mean, they get scared when they do.
But my whole point is, I feel like he hasn't faced a guy that's been more than one dimensional up until this point, and that's why I feel like he's gonna have his work cut out for him.
Right.
You know, because all he's done is get a slam early, ground and pound, which he's very good at it.
True.
Obviously, he's very good at it, and then pretty much either get the knockout or get a submission and end it.
Right.
By the end of the coin, on the other side of the coin, his chin.
As far as burn, or what
his chin and cardio
defense,
it has to be tested, and Burns is a person to test it. So
I agree. Like that style of fighting is definitely suitable for Burns because he's the type that'll stand up and fight you and box with you. But I do think that Chimaev loves to go down with people. I mean, you saw it in even the last fight against Yang Ling. He went down with him and submitted him very quickly and made sure that he was on top of him within that first minute of the first round. And he didn't, get off him until he submitted him. He's very good at once he gets on top of you, he doesn't let you get back up that fast. You know.
Well, that's the thing. He's got a real one with good, great actually. Ground skill, great jiu-jitsu skills.
Right.
So, he's never faced someone like Burns yet.
Mm-hmm.
Burns is a prolific ground person or ground athlete with a great submission game. Mm-hmm. He got great submission game. He's got a grappling, got good jiu-jitsu, got submissions.
Submissions,
so He pretty much got the whole package when it comes to his ground game.
True.
And honestly, at the end of the day, like I said, he comes... I would love to see him against Kobe. But pretty much Usman is one of the very few people who are better than him. He has a very unique skill set for Burns. So this clash is someone that is finally not scared to let Chimaev take it to the ground, because at the end of the day, he might actually have more skills. A lot of people might not think it because Chimaev is more flashy.
Right. That's for sure.
Burns actually might have more skill on the ground.
So right there, I'm gonna definitely agree with you. I think that Burns is definitely the more skilled fighter. Well, overall, as far as Muay Thai and UFC fighting,
his combos is nice,
and stand up boxing as well. Hitting somebody, getting back a little bit, coming back in and hitting them.
Power
he's good at that
too. Heavy kicks.
That's for sure, and he's definitely good at that. But I think his bulky stature is going to be a little bit, a disadvantage to Chimaev's more taller stature. I think Chimaev's going to be able to possibly get some lower kicks on him before, if it happens to be more of a stand-up fight in this first round, which I'm not sure if it is, but I think that a lot of leg kicks are going to happen, and he's not very good at that. I remember even in that Usman fight that Kamaru was getting leg kicks on him too. I mean, I know that he gave Kamaru a problem though. He definitely gave him a problem, and he's the type of guy that has a knockout power as well. But
100%, and he's not afraid to sit there and bang with you.
That's true.
And Chimaev's gonna get in that pocket, and he's gonna end up catching one of those hands, and he's gonna feel like, damn, all right, this is a real that could be fighter right here.
The craziest stat that I saw was the average fight time of these guys. Like, obviously we know Chimaev hasn't had that many fights, but 10 fights is still a lot of fights.
Most of them were early finishes, though.
Exactly. I mean, all of his fights were either ended by knockout or by a submission. He never had a decision in his career. He had 6 knockouts and 4 submissions, and his average fight time is only 3 minutes. Compared to a guy like Burns,
Burns
11.
was 10-0 before too.
For sure, he definitely was. But I mean, you look at the average fight time. That's what's a crazy stat. It's like he only has less than a
because
round.
When you start fighting top 5 contenders, like here's the thing, I need like everyone to understand: the talent level
it jumps
between 1 to 5 and 6 to 10. It's a whole other bracket. You see 1 to 5 stay 1 and 5 and just trade between each other because the 6 and 10 not better than the 1 to 5, no matter how many times. If 4 loses to 3, 2 and 1,
right?
He's still better than 6 and 7.
That I'll agree with. But
so that's what I'm saying. So when you constantly fight in top 5 in your division, that fight time
it'll go up. It's going to go up for sure. Yeah, once you get championship matchups as well.
He's got 25 fights in now.
Plus he hasn't had a fight. I will agree with you there because so yeah, I'll definitely agree with you there. I mean, you got that for sure because he hasn't even had championship matchups, and those are upwards of obviously 5 minutes.
5 rounds.
I mean, 25 minutes is what I meant. 25 minutes instead of 15 minutes. But even if, even the fight against Jing Ling, he, that was a guy that was also 5'10", a guy that's similar in stature, not as bulky as Burns. Like, he didn't have the muscle like Burns. He was definitely a lot more technical, like with kicks and kickboxing. But I definitely think that
barely top 10.
I mean, he was in the 10. He was literally top. He was 10. Yeah, he was 10.
Barely top 10.
But even like that, he's shown that he can beat guys like this, and with that type of stature, I definitely think that with him getting guys on the ground and just weighing them down, putting his body on top of them, and being able to do that because he definitely weighs a lot. 6'2" with legs that are able to like grapple you like crazy. Like he's able to do the scorpion grapple, which is like you tuck your leg when you're on top of somebody, you get your legs around their knees and then you tuck your ankles around their ankles, which is one of the hardest things to get out of supposedly when you're on the bottom on your back.
No, I lost my first wrestling match to that move.
Yeah.
I was 5'3" and he was 6'1".
Right. So when you're taller, you're able to do that. You know what I mean? They're able to like stretch out and they just hold you down like with their legs like wrapped around you, and that just like once you get like 4 or 5 minutes, I mean really like 4 minutes on the ground because first minute is always like they test you around until. A guy like Chimaev, he loves to tackle. Like, that's one thing he's known for. Loves to go for that takedown, that tackle. And I think he's definitely going to get a lot of those. But I definitely agree with your points on Burns. He's going to test him.
All those skills that Chimaev is supposed to bring, at the end of the day, Burns is better at. Burns is very, very prolific on his back.
He is. So I won't doubt that. I don't doubt that at all.
Like, he's not afraid to lose position because he knows how to defend transitions, he knows how to defend guards, and he knows how to defend submissions. And he knows how to get his own while in those same positions.
Right.
So, that's what I'm saying. So, at this point, he has so many angles that he could choose from when it comes to the grappling, submission, the passes of the guard, all that. And that's what I'm saying. He's actually more skilled in that category.
All right. So, let's go to the prediction then. I mean, who you got on this one? I mean, Gilbert Burns versus Chimaev. Like, who you think is going to win it? And also, in what round and in what way? I mean, what do you expect from this matchup?
So, this was the hardest one to choose.
This was a tough one for me, too.
Vegas odds are disrespectful.
They definitely are. I mean, I think they should be a little bit closer.
But they actually played a part in my decision. I'll tell you why. Everyone expects Chimaev to be aggressive, come out with just taking shots, wrestling.
True.
Trying to take the ground to the floor and just be too much to handle. So there's a very good chance that could happen in the first round.
Right.
Like, I understand what skills both of these men bring to the table. But I just don't see that happening against Burns.
Right.
While the betting line is out of line, past the first round, most people don't see it going. Yeah. Because past the first round, I feel like the fight will keep going more into Burns' favor.
He definitely has an advantage once it goes past the first round. I definitely agree with that point.
So
That's
I
a
can
good
see
point right there.
Chimaev getting off a lucky shot in round 1, topping for submission, getting a quick finish. If Burns decided to stay in the pocket and try to, go both blow for blow.
Blow for blow with him, right?
But I'm gonna go for the underdog.
Okay.
Not only because it was really hard to choose, but just I'll be honest, the way that everyone's just acting like Chimaev's about to run through Burns, it can happen, but I don't see it. And honestly, the fact that no one else don't see it that way is just pissing me off.
Right. Like, and that makes you want to pick the underdog for sure, like that way.
Because he's the number 2 contender in the fucking division. How is this the underdog?
I mean, yeah, they're just trying to push. By far. They're trying to push Chimaev very fast, so surprisingly. Fast. When there's other guys that they're not pushing as fast. But,
so we'll see. And I feel like while he is great and he has potential to be a division, I feel like that hype train needs to slow down a little bit. And I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. So I'm gonna go by third round submission.
Ooh, third round submission, Gilbert Burns.
Yes.
Wow.
Third round submission, Gilbert Burns. You hear right here.
All right.
When Gilbert Burns walk away, third round submission.
That's a good pick. I'm not gonna lie, but I totally disagree with you. I agree with one point. I agree that if the fight keeps going on to the second and third round, you're definitely, if it goes to decision, it's most likely gonna go towards Burns' way if they're standing up more. I think the fight is gonna go different. I do think it's gonna go similar to what I'm saying. I think that Chimaev is definitely gonna go for the takedown early, maybe even in early in the first round. He's gonna play around with him a little bit. He's gonna see that. Obviously, Burns knows how to fight up top. He knows how to stance. He even switches up his stances sometimes. Gilbert Burns. Yeah, that's why he likes to switch it up. He'll go obviously southpaw, and then he'll go traditional. But I do think that Chimaev is going to go for the takedown. He's going to try to put his weight, on him in the first round and try to get him a little tired, get him around the fence, and possibly go for some sort of submission. I don't think it's going to end in the first round, though. I think it's going to keep going, this fight. And I do think in the second round is going to be very similar to the first round. I think that Chimaev is going to have a very similar strategy to what he did with Jingling, where he just went for the takedown and tried to go for the submission. But I think in the second round, he's going to get a tackle, get him down, and then it's going to be some sort of knockout. I think it's going to be like an elbow to the face or some sort of punch. He's going to get a few punches on him while he's on top of him or on his side with side control or something like that. So I think it's going to end that way in a TKO, second round for Chimaev. And I think we're just going to see him beat a guy that, was definitely at the top of his level, other than not beating a champion in Burns. But
what's wild is that you're also that disrespectful.
I'm not that disrespectful because, look, I'll give Burns a second round when this guy Chimaev has been beating guys in the first and second. And I will agree with you. He's definitely hasn't fought competition like Burns at all. But I think that Yingling was definitely solid competition. And
I don't even know the man's name. I don't even
but
know
they fought. And Gilbert Burns beat Yingling as well, but it was by decision. So it's obviously that, I'm not comparing them. I'm just comparing their wins. That's all I'm doing. And obviously Yingling got submitted in the first round. So I give this to Chimaev. I think that he's just a better on the ground fighter on top. If it comes down to Gilbert Burns being on top,
Gilbert Burns is a better on the ground fighter on his back.
On his back, he is. That's why I don't think it's going to be a submission because he's able to move around and stuff. That's why I think it's going to be some sort of punch. I don't think it's going to be a submission. I don't think he's going to be able to even grab his leg, twist his arm like that. I think it's going to have to come down to some sort of punch, some sort of elbow to the face. He starts bleeding or something, and that's what's going to come down to him. I don't know, man. This is the toughest one I had to pick. This was very close for me because, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised at all if even Burns gets a knockout on Chimaev because
I thought about that too.
I was definitely thinking about it, even in the first round.
They're both going to, and that's why I see Chimaev maybe knock him out early because they're both going to be gunning in each other's pocket
early, yeah,
early on in that first. But if it goes past the first, Gilbert knows he's going to have to back up and play it smarter. And at that point, I feel like Chimaev is going to get more antsy.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean that could definitely happen. He definitely can get more antsy. I just think that it'll keep going to the ground. That's my thing. I think this is going to be more of a ground fight. I think Chimaev is great at that. He loves his takedown time. In each fight is almost 3 minutes. And that's how much he usually fights anyway. So he loves to take people down. But that's going to be a great matchup. In that main card. it's gonna be good to think about what happens next for these fighters. Like whoever wins, what do you think is gonna happen for these fighters?
Oh yeah, obviously, we pretty much got Kamaru Usman as a champion in that division.
Mm-hmm.
Colby Covington's up there. More than likely, Kamaru Usman's fighting Leon Edwards.
Yep, that's what they're talking about for sure.
At the end of this year, when he recovers from his hand surgery, I don't think that the winner of this can wait until a year from now without fighting.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think that honestly, even though
to fight Kobe,
I think it's gonna be somebody like I think Bilal Muhammad is fighting somebody as well, and
Bilal Muhammad is fighting Vincent Lequeux.
Vincent Luke, that's right, Vincent Luke. They're fighting.
Lequeux or Vincent.
Yeah,
Luke
and they're fighting next, like
they're fighting next,
literally next
16th.
week, right? Yeah. So this is gonna be the next week after 273,
like 3 and 5,
right?
So that's what I'm saying.
So that's a fight I think is gonna happen. Well, the winner of Leon, the winner of Luke versus Muhammad versus or Burns versus Chimaev. Know, those two winners.
I think whoever gets a shot next has to go through Kobe.
Oh wow!
They have to. He's still the number one contender. So I feel like whoever wins out of Chimaev versus Burns, ain't no point in fighting Vincent or Bilal because they're already under them.
I mean, Bilal's at 5 and he's a great fighter as well. I mean,
that's the thing. If Burns is already 2.
Yeah. I mean,
if Burns is win. 2. Burns is not gonna go down and fight Bilal.
Not at all. He's gonna have
Kobe.
To. Yeah, he's gonna have to fight that.
Kobe,
that's 100% sure. That's one thing we can definitely say. If Burns wins this fight, he's definitely fighting Kobe next. But it's literally the question is Chimaev.
That's also point.
Chimaev is the question for me.
Beat Burns. Chimaev's top 3.
Wow, that's huge. See, I have to put him a little bit lower now, just because well, maybe for a week, but I think that because Vincent Luke and Bilal Muhammad are gonna fight, I think Gilbert Burns is gonna move down that past 5, and I think Kazmat's gonna move up to like 5th or 6th. Honestly, I think after this Vincent Luke fight,
the number 2 contender, the only one that's gonna go above him. And the only one that should go above him, honestly, Leon, is Kobe and Leon.
Yeah, I mean,
he should be number 3.
I still think just because Luke and Muhammad are fighting next,
he still have to fight Kobe. But that's the thing. If they just skipped all these motherfuckers,
that's what I mean.
And gave him Gilbert, if he beat Gilbert, they're not giving him Bilal Muhammad. They don't care about that. They're giving him Kobe. Whoever wins this fight is getting Kobe.
So then Leon Edwards will be the odd one out then. Leon doesn't get it.
He's waiting.
So he would have to fight Luke versus Muhammad. Then.
No, he's just waiting.
He's just waiting for whoever, yeah.
He got 6 months to wait. They're trying to get him and Usman in November. Like, he's not fighting.
He's not fighting anyone, yeah. Just waiting for that Usman fight, which...
And I say he should.
They're talking about that it's going to happen.
That's what I'm saying.
They are talking about it.
Dana does do some shit. Oh.
I mean, like, he does some crazy shit,
it'll be some wild shit if Chimaev beat Burns and Kobe
go straight
before November.
Usman.
And skips Leon. That would be some fuck shit, but I could see that happening.
Well, what if he doesn't even have to beat Kobe? What if it's just
no?
I don't think they'll do that.
No. He'd have to. Yeah. So he's not gonna.
I agree with you. Yeah.
And that's the thing. At this point, now, they might make someone fight Leon before.
That's what I mean. I think that Leon is gonna have to fight.
At this point, I think Leon.
The winner of.
They've made it clear that they're content on waiting out Leon and Usman because all they're waiting on is Usman's injury.
Yeah, of course.
Everything's already so everything's already set for that to happen. So I pretty much think whoever wins this fight is fighting Kobe next.
So there's definitely been talks of that, like obviously Leon versus Usman. A lot of people have been talking about that. I mean, I just see this is how I see it. I think that Kobe's gonna have to wait a little bit because this Gilbert Burns and Kazmat fight is gonna be huge for the rankings because. Next week is going to be Luke and Muhammad, the week after the Kazmat fight. So if Kazmat happens to win, I still think he's going to be that top 5. And then Luke and Muhammad, the winner of that, one of these guys is going to move down below Kazmat. Then once Kazmat's already a top 5 contender, and literally the only guys on top of him would possibly be obviously Usman, Kobe, Leon, and the winner of Luke and Muhammad. So I think he would have to fight the winner of Luke and Muhammad, and then Kobe would have to be the one to wait, and Leon would have to obviously fight Usman.
The number 12 contender just skipped everyone and fought the number 2 contender. If he beats the number 2 contender, he's not going to be under the number 4 or 5th contender.
You think they're going to put him up to number 2 or 3?
3.
Yeah. I mean, Gilbert would definitely move down.
Gilbert might move just one down.
I mean, Leon would probably move up for sure. Leon would move up. Yeah.
At this point, Leon is still up there and doesn't face no one. But I
that's interesting though.
Bilal, and that's the thing. Like, it's not to sound funny, but like Bilal and Vincent are both good.
I like Bilal. I like Bilal actually.
But they're no threats or names.
He's
not worried about pushing that fight. That's why he skipped all of them and pushed Chimaev to Burns.
Oh, it's literally because he's undefeated and he's going through these guys like cakewalk.
And they know that he would go through Bilal and Vincent. So why even pick the fight?
Yeah.
Let's go to Burns. So after Burns, the only one left is literally Kobe.
Yeah.
Because after that, you can't do nothing else but give him the champion.
Yeah, I think you might be right on this one. I think that it might be Kobe versus Khamzat if Khamzat happens to win.
Or Kobe versus Burns.
That's way, that would be fighting next. That would be next.
Kobe, he just pretty much ragged on Jorge.
He did. I remember.
So he could pretty much be ready in 5 months.
And Jorge was talking about like he wants him again. And I'm like, nah, that's not happening, bro. Nobody wants to see that again.
Nobody wants to see that again.
But I mean, that's gonna be a great one to watch for sure. And then obviously next up, we got a great fight.
Bantamweight co-main event. Mm-hmm. Aljamain Sterling versus Peter Yan.
And both of these guys are champions. One is the interim, the other guy is the champion. So
Sterling's the champion.
Yep.
Yan's the interim champion.
Yep. So I'll go through the tail of the tape. Right. I mean, obviously Aljamain Sterling, Funk Master. He's 20-3. Peter Yan's 16-2. Excuse me. Obviously Sterling's from U.S. My man Peter Yan's from Russia. They're both 5'7". Sterling has a little bit more weight on him, 148 to 135, and he has the reach advantage. Sterling does at 71 inches to 67. A little bit of a leg reach by Sterling as well, 39 to 38. So he's got, a few little advantages.
Yeah, but for the fight, he got to be at 135.
He's definitely going to have to drop down, but I think he's going to have to, obviously, they weigh you one day before, so he has that whole day after to gain some weight. I think he can gain at least like 7 pounds before, so he'll be fighting at like 142, I think.
That's what I'm thinking. Don't know. I'll be honest. I don't think he will because his whole game is constant pressure. Gaining 7 pounds in a night after weighing the day before your fight.
It's too much, you think? It's just water. It's literally just water. If you think about it, it's a lot of water. That's how they do it in one night to gain that water weight. I mean, I think you might be right if it was like if it was 10 pounds, but I think 7 pounds could happen.
They're gonna both go in at 140 or under.
Because he likes fighting a little bit bigger. He likes fighting at like around 145 anyways. That's his what he usually fights at.
Nah.
That 145 is what he usually weighs at.
Oh.
Sterling. Aljamain Sterling. Yeah. Yeah, he's
148. A 135 champion. They fight at 135. 145 is his whole nother weight class.
But he still always moves up. Like after the weigh-in, he always moves up and weight. Always.
I promise you, he do not fight at 145.
I promise you, he does. He always moves up his weight every time he fights.
He do not gain 10 pounds for the fight.
That's what they do.
Not in a day. Not in a day. I promise you, he's not gaining 10 pounds for the fight.
A lot of his water.
No one fights, goes to a weigh-in, drops all that weigh-in, and then goes and drink it all the next 10.
Well, it's more than like 24 hours. They give him a little more than 24 hours. It's like 32 hours or something like that.
It's not even 2 days. Like, I promise you. 140. He's coming at 140. Maybe 147. Like you said, but that's not even...
No, I don't even know 147. I think 140... No, like 143 or something. That's what I'm thinking. 7 pounds over.
The 135ers don't do that. The 165ers, the 170, the 155ers... The heavyweight
guys definitely do that all the time, for sure. They come
in 10 pounds heavier the next day. But at 135, I promise you, he's not coming the next day at 145. I
don't know about 145. I think 142. Like, he'll be 7 pounds over, I think. I definitely think he'll be 7 pounds over. He's going to want that weight. He's going to want that weight over him. I promise you.
So when we watch the fight,
yeah, it's going to be going to bet on.
We got to make sure that they say how much
they will. They usually do. They tell you, like, what he came in at.
And if y'all see it, y'all comment.
Make sure you comment below.
Closer? What weight is Aljamain Sterling coming in at? Is he coming in at 140, which I think around 5 pounds over? Or is he coming in 7 to 10 pounds over at like 133 to 145?
And if you guys already know, just comment below in the videos or, message us and let us know. Yeah, but also let us know if we're right or wrong.
For sure. So we'll
definitely want to know about that. But that's going to be, it's definitely going to be good. Even if he's at that 135, I still think that a little bit more of that long body is going to help him, have a little bit of an advantage,
Oh yeah,
having a longer, leaner body like that.
Oh yeah, no. Aljamain's obviously the champion for a reason. There's a lot of controversy because he took an early lead in his last fight against Jan, and then came out losing the last 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Before they stopped it for disqualification, so most people thought that Jan was up on the cards.
He was actually. He was up. He was up, and it was a crazy stoppage. Like, and he didn't want it to stop like that either.
Yeah, nah, for sure. And it was a combination of weird things. Obviously you'll see who I end up picking, but I will give it to Sterling. That not only was that that was just a good fight for Jan.
Mm-hmm.
3 for 17 on takedown defenses was
that's big. That's big.
Realistic. Like him and his team keep saying it was the worst night of his career.
Wow.
And he walked away with the belt.
Yeah, I mean they did say that. I remember that.
They keep saying because his and they know his performance was subpar. And I know sometimes you can't say, oh, I had a bad day at the office. Like, I get that. Mm-hmm. But I'll actually give him, like, a little bit of half a point for that excuse. Right. That, like, he was shooting short a lot. And I'm not going to say, and I understand Jan's a great fighter and a great defender. So, obviously, not everything was just, he was just not doing it well enough. Exactly. So I'll give it that. Yeah. But I do understand when some fighters can come out flat. Like I said, he came out real strong that first round, and then
definitely came out flat. Those are the second and third and fourth. Flat. Yeah,
and I think he felt like he overexerted himself, and then just couldn't give what he needed to give. And I feel like that at that point you can't come back from that mistake. It's over.
Mm-hmm. With other fighters, I mean, he gave a little bit in that fourth round in the last fight that they fought, but I think you're definitely right about that. Like he got tired after that first round, and that's why he was losing most of the card. I mean, a lot of people had it 3-1. 3 rounds to 1, even like after disqualification.
Yeah.
They had it.
In the first round, he threw the kitchen sink. He threw everything and anything
left and right.
He didn't even care if it hit. Truthfully.
No. He was throwing them. He was throwing a lot. Like and even if they didn't like hit him, they were tapping. Like even like they were obviously getting blocked and stuff. I think you're definitely right about that. His endurance and his conditioning is gonna have to be there for this fight. Because Peter Yan, he's known for his conditioning. He's known for being able to like punch and kick you and not get tired at all. Like he's fought so many fights to decision and all the way through. His average fight time is over 15 minutes. Which is insane. That's over a regular fight card if you think about it. So obviously he's had a few championship fights that have gone to decision as well to bring that average up. But he's known for that. He's known for having his conditioning up, and I definitely think that Aljamain is gonna have to step it up this time.
Oh yeah. Right now, he's honestly. Jan is probably one of the best pound for pound boxers when it comes to straight technical combinations, the reactiveness, the counter punching. When it comes to legit pure boxing skills, I know Max Holloway swear he has that title, but at the end of the day, you don't sit there and scream, "I'm the best boxer in the UFC," and then get punched in the face 3 times. Like that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that's not what you do. Like Peter Yan is honestly one of the best boxers in the UFC. Right. And he's just elite. He has a tendency of starting off slow though. He has that Floyd tendency. He likes early off, read my fighter, pick him apart, see what he does, see how he counters, see what he throws at me, and pretty much just operate and just download all the data. And that's one of the reasons why Sterling came out throwing so fast and so early and so wild the first round. It's just kind of just get up ahead, but also trying to throw him off his game. Right. But honestly, it just didn't work for him because second, third round, he just came out and Jan was all over him.
Yeah. He came out more flat. Yeah, he definitely came out flat, and that's definitely going to be to his advantage. I think Jan is going to have a very similar strategy in this fight. He's going to have to try to utilize that.
He had to come out more stronger the first round.
I think he's going to try to play it safe. To me, I think he's gonna wanna test them out because I think maybe Sterling is gonna want to be the one to stay back a little bit. Because especially like when his corner was even telling him like you were terrible with the takedowns, you were terrible with your endurance. Last time that's what they told him, and obviously he's gonna have to work on that. But I think he's gonna be the type of guy that would stay back a little bit, and then maybe go in the second round more. I don't know, though. What do you think about that?
No, I mean, that would be in his best interest. But at the end of the day, he's going to have to learn how to be more reactionary, because right now in the stand up game, he's gonna be facing someone that pretty much, like I said, like really good combinations. He has a real good jab, and he knows how to fight behind his power,
right?
Where he pretty much like he goes through his punches. And then obviously the kicks and the takedown, they're going to be an issue for Sterling.
Yeah,
and they were an issue for Sterling in the first round.
They definitely were. Yeah.
So he definitely is going to keep finding, or he's going to keep trying to find ways to pop Sterling, and Sterling's going to have to not exert himself trying to throw so many shots and combos while he's leaving himself open.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to have to learn how to take that step back, because he couldn't see a lot that was coming from Jan's way in the second and third round, and he learned his lesson.
That's for sure. I mean, he's going to definitely have to utilize standing back a little bit more and not just going wild with the punches. Like
he did a couple like spinning attacks.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
those
yeah.
allow Jan to get his back. In the first fight, it's like why would you try?
Because they were a little bit, they were slower than you would think.
Because he had no energy. It's like, why are you doing that?
Exactly.
So that's things like that.
That definitely has to stop, and I think he's gonna have to learn from that. But he loves doing that, even the like spinning back kicks for sure, and even the spinning elbows, like you said, he's gonna want to do those. I just think he's gonna have to do them early if he wants to. Those flashy things are gonna have to happen like middle of the first round for me. If that's what
they don't have to happen for me.
They don't have to happen at all for me either. I think this fight for him would have to be a type where he stands back a little bit, utilizes his stance, his taller stance, and plays defense. Yeah, keeps him back. Throws a few jabs in there because his jabs are pretty good.
He got a great jab and great defense and great head movement.
Exactly. Yeah.
People like to think that one fight defines who he was, or who he is. Like, he is literally top-notch talent. He is a
champion for a reason.
Exactly. He is an elite fighter, so he has to just rely on the skills.
But then again, Peter Yan was champion, and
he's also an elite fighter.
And a lot of people, we keep saying this, but a lot of people would say if that fight would have kept going, the first fight, Peter Yan probably would have taken it by decision, most likely. But I think that Sterling is going to have to utilize that leg kick just to keep him back a little bit more, to keep Peter Yan back. He's definitely got the leg reach a little bit more, and with the jab is gonna help him move around the ring a little bit. He's gonna do that a lot in the first and second round. I think they're just gonna move around, not crazy amount of punches, but I do think there's gonna be a few. I do think that the guy who could get the TKO or submission would be Sterling. Right. I think that the guy that doesn't get as many submissions, rarely any, obviously, is Jan. He's only had like one in his career, and I think 8 knockouts. So, Sterling is definitely the guy that could be the knockout artist in this fight. But we never know. A lot of people are saying this is going to go to decision. So, let's go into it. Let's go into the analysis of the prediction. What do you think about this one?
Well, I definitely think it will go to decision. Success for each. Sterling got to set the pace, keep the pressure, while also not overexerting himself on his chances. Jan got to obviously find a way to just break him down and get good takedowns. Sterling got to find a way to stop the takedowns. So I definitely do think this is going to go to a decision. Peter Jan's only weakness right now is his slow starts.
Right.
That's really all you can say bad about the guy. I see the same thing happening in the last fight. Early lead for Sterling. Methodically for over 5 rounds. Peter Yan is going to break him down. I think it's going to go to a late. So I'll be honest. It might go KO for Yan in the 5th.
Wow.
If at some point Sterling really exerts
gets
himself,
really tired,
trying to get something to happen because he's low on the cards.
I mean, it's a 5 round.
It's a 5 round, so that's enough for him to in the late 3rd and 4th to really exert himself, trying to let me try to get a round back.
Especially if he gets hurt a little
5th,
bit,
he could just get caught. So I could see a KO happening, but I'm gonna go with Yan decision.
Oh, okay.
What about you? Who you got?
Okay, Yan decision. I like that one, and honestly, it's interesting because. Again, we both differ on our decisions right here.
You got Sterling.
Both of these fights.
What is this?
So this is the only fight. Well, I guess I'm spoiling the surprise for the next one. I guess this is the only fight that I got the underdog winning at all. And this is why. I mean, I do think that in the first fight we saw that Yan was definitely the more prolific fighter overall, the disqualification was sad that it happened that way.
I think Sterling learned a lot from that.
I definitely think so, and that's what I'm going to get at. I think that his endurance is going to be way better. I definitely think he's going to stand back more. He's not going to be able to take Jan down because Jan's takedowns defense is amazing. Like he loves to get down, or if you try to take him down, he loves to get on top of your back, so you don't take him down and put his weight on you. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be more of a stand-up fight most of the time, and I just think there's going to be a lot of pick and choosing. A lot of that is going to happen. There's going to be some combos happening for sure, but for me, I think that Sterling definitely learned a lot. He's going to throw a lot of combos, and I think he's going to throw a lot more punches than Jan does this time.
Oh yeah.
So for that reason, I think he's going to get more significant strikes, and I think that they might give Sterling the decision. Give it to him, and honestly, I'm
not mad at it.
This might be pretty close for me. That's too.
What I'm saying. It's hard for me to choose as well.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest, my heart want to go with Sterling, but my mind's like Jan is just so nice right now.
See, for me, it's the opposite. No, this is the same actually.
You just want your heart.
Well, no, I'm going with both. My brain, because they're
both championship fighters.
Right.
We understand.
That's what I mean. I just look at it this way. I think he learned a lot more, especially in the last two fights. Sterling, his fault, he's learned a lot more, and I do think that it's going to be close. I think it could possibly be a 3-2 rounder. They'll probably call it 49-47. It might not be crazy close, but it'll be 49-47 Sterling for me.
Okay.
Which is obviously decision for him.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's going to be unanimous, though, because, it might be close. I think they're going to be trading punches a lot, man, to be honest. But anyways, let's just talk about the winner of this one. Let's talk about what happens next for them.
So you got championship and interim championship, so basically A1 or 1A and 1B.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, the first one ended in disqualification for Jan because of a kick that looked like he was winning. So if Jan win, clear favorite, he's going to have to face TJ Dillashaw.
Yep.
I don't know if Jose Aldo wants a shot at the belt, but he is third contender.
He is, yeah.
He's third-ranked contender, so he's up there, and they might try to push that for one last push.
I've heard about that, too. I've heard about the Jose Aldo, getting whoever the winner of this one is, obviously.
Because he just beat Sandhagen for the interim.
Yep.
So Jan. So at this point,
Peter Jan did, yep.
It's Dillashaw, Aldo, and Rob Font. And Rob Font is about to fight Marlon Vera at the end of this month. So
Rob Font just had a big win, but honestly...
If he loses Vera, because Vera's good too, so if he loses Vera, that's... So basically it's between Dillashaw and Aldo for Jan if he wins, because he's not getting a rematch.
Okay, so this is... I got a little... I got one that's going to be, crazy scenario. Because I think the next fight that they're talking about is Devashili versus Dillashaw, is what I've been hearing. They were talking about that fight. I think it might even happen, soon, probably one of these fight nights. And honestly, the winner of that would definitely go for the championship to me. I think Jose Aldo...
Yeah, but it's not even announced yet, so...
Not at all.
That fight is going to be at least 2 to 3 months away.
Yeah, for sure.
Which means that whoever wins this fight, they're not about to wait 6 to 9 months.
I just think that Jose Aldo, I don't know if they're going to give him that, because...
But that's the thing. If you say that, if Dillashaw is picked for that fight, then that literally leaves Jose Aldo wide the fuck open for a championship fight.
Man,
and
he's had a comeback.
He's literally won 3 in a row.
3 in a row. That's crazy.
And one of them was against Marlon Vera.
Marlon Vera, yeah. That's how he got up so
I think, especially if you're saying that TJ's already in top, I definitely think Jose Aldo is the next fight for the champion if Jan wins.
So I've definitely heard that for sure. I was on the UFC website earlier and I was looking at some of the top news and they were definitely they had some tweets
that run that back.
Jose Aldo was talking I want the winner of this. That's what I want. I want a championship matchup.
He came back and got 3-0.
That's a crazy comeback for Jose Aldo.
That old, and he looks great in all his fights.
Yeah, I know, right? They're
all
amazing
decisions,
lately.
Just breaking them down.
Yeah. Getting them tired
down. That's what I'm saying.
By the third round.
Yeah,
he's been
all decisions.
Beating them up.
So that's if Jan wins.
Mm-hmm.
If Sterling wins, there might be a case if, like you said, Dillashaw is held up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they will because I'll be honest, they have been leaning towards rematches.
Right.
But I don't think if Sterling win, I don't think this one just is going to get a rematch.
But this could be this Dillashaw.
I don't think no one wants to see it.
Oh, you want a rematch with Peter Yan again?
No, if Jan's going to want a rematch, a trilogy. He's going to be I lost the first one for disqualification. I was going to win
the second one.
And now he lost the second one. So if he loses, but that's the thing, I don't think no one cares. I don't think no one wants to see
here's my
that.
thing. I
think everyone would rather see, even if it is Sterling, rather see Sterling versus Jose Aldo. Like, I think whoever wins just moves on.
That's the bigger money fight.
Or Aldo, exactly.
I think the biggest money fight is probably going to be Sterling versus Jose Aldo.
I don't think whoever wins just wants, like, if Sterling wins, I don't think he wants to train for another Jan fight. Like, he's just going to be like, bro, like, it's over.
It's done with that, yeah. I'm done with that.
In his head, I'm 2-10 champ. Like, I beat you twice.
Right. And even though the first one wasn't right, I beat you the second time first. Right.
Yeah.
Especially if it's, I think if it's a knockout, then for sure. For sure.
And then if Jan win, you were beating him the first one, and now you actually beat him.
Right.
So both of them will be like, we're done.
Squashed as well. I think that Dvalishvili, he's an interesting fighter to look at because he's been moving up in the rankings.
2 fights. He got at least 2 fights.
I think because he's been moving up in the rankings very fast.
If he fight Dillashaw after that, he might get a chance.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I think that he's the next guy, like after obviously Jose Aldo. So he would be the next guy. But
first, man. Yeah, Jose Aldo is getting a shot at whoever wins this fight.
That's a good prediction. Let's call that. Yeah, Jose Aldo, man. Hope you get it. I hope you get it.
Jose Aldo will only be fighting. I'm gonna tell you right now, based off pure heart alone, whoever Jose Aldo is fighting for this belt in 7 months, I'm picking Jose Aldo. Him. Right off, I'll tell you that right now. Right now. Right now. That man has not shown me nothing bad since he came back, and he's about to get a belt. You heard it here first.
You heard it, y'all.
It is April. Jose Aldo.
We looking for you, man. I hope you get this because we love your game, especially lately. You've been coming back, ready to go.
Bantamweight champion in 2022.
Ooh,
you heard me.
Wow.
Jose Aldo.
Man.
Bantamweight champion at 2022.
One of the old champions.
And then, Conor. Drop your bitch ass down to 135 and let my boy get his rematch.
That's not happening.
Let my boy get his rematch.
I don't think that's gonna happen, but I mean that'll be interesting if it does. But I don't think it will. I think Conor's looking.
The story tell.
Well, we already know that Dana White has been talking and having talks with Conor and Usman.
Conor can't drop down to 135 no more.
Well, no, he's had talks with a few
he wants
fights.
To do pretty much 145 to 165.
Right. He said
those
a few
3 divisions, but he ain't. I promise you, he's not touching not one of those.
I don't think he's touching Adesanya. I don't think he's touching Usman.
He's not touching Adesanya. He's not touching Usman.
Right.
He's not touching Oliveira.
Exactly.
And he's not touching. Shit. Who else we got?
Yeah, I think those are the 3. Those are the 3 brackets that he's looking at.
3, yes. He's not touching either one of them.
Yeah, but I mean, speaking of champions, let's go into the championship.
Oh wait, no,
man.
this one.
No. Yeah.
Because that's the thing. He won't get a shot at 181 versus Adesanya. He's never fought that high in UFC, and they're not about to just give him a shot.
They're not going to give that to him, right?
Yeah. So the 3 is Volkanovski in his division, and obviously the featherweights, and then the lightweights with Oliveira.
Oliveira, yep.
Charles, and then Usman in the welterweight. So those 3... he could fight. And he's not taking none. Like, I'll be honest.
He wants to take a top fight.
The one chance he has a fight on, and it's not even a chance of the fighter. The one division he has a chance in is the division we about to talk about right now, which is the main event. Featherweight, Alexander Volkanovski versus the Korean Zombie, Chan Sung Jung.
Let's talk about it.
And even then, if he fight Volkanovski, Conor's not
winning that.
But that's a division he'll probably have the best luck. If he's not,
they put him in. Yeah.
If he's not the belt holder, you know what I'm saying. Like, Conor, you might want to wait 3 years.
You might want to fight Nate Diaz real quick.
That's what I'm saying. You
might want to fight Nate Diaz real quick to get a quick
Conor,
win.
That boy's not even in the damn UFC right now.
Right. So let's talk about drugs. He probably is though. You're right. I mean, have fun in Little Ireland.
Yeah. My man got it going Twitter crazy.
He is always. But anyways, let's talk about the championship matchup of the night.
Yes, sir.
UFC 273. We're talking about Volkanovski versus the Korean Zombie, Jung Sung, and we're gonna go through this matchup. It's actually a great matchup. I think that if you look at these guys, they're actually very close as far as their statures. I'm gonna go through it. Alexander Volkanovski, 23-1. Chang Sung Jung, he's 17-6. And their heights are, both similar. 5'6" for Alex and 5'7" for Chen. A little bit of bigger weight on Alexander's side. He's got like a 10-pound, weight advantage, 145 to 155. But nobody knows if that's gonna
stick.
Where
are you getting these weights?
These from? Are the weight. These are literally the weights that are coming in before the weigh-ins. So this is their weights right
walk
now.
Around weight.
They're walking around weights. Yeah.
I mean that. Yeah.
That's their walk around before the weigh-in because we don't know the weigh-ins is gonna happen.
At their weight.
Well, the weigh-in happens in the Friday right before the Well, they give them you can get penalized for weight. They just take away your part of your salary if you.
But they definitely
have pounds on.
They both fighting at 145.
I think that they are. I think maybe a little bit of weight for Alexander Volkanovski. I think he's gonna be at 150. But anyways, with the reach, they're both very similar. 171 or 71 to 72, and leg reach a little bit more for the Korean Zombie at 38 to 36. So, this matchup is very similar in stature. I think both of these guys have a very similar body type, and I think this is probably going to be a crazy fight. Even though a lot of guys might not heard the Korean Zombie. A lot of people don't even know his name.
He's been around for a while.
He's been around for a while.
I don't know how.
A while, bro. Yeah. And obviously Alexander Volkanovski, he's been a beast in his division. Obviously only one loss. So let's go ahead and talk about this fight. What you got in this fight?
Oh, man. It's definitely going to be a banger. Volkanovski's first time since he beat Ortega.
Yeah.
After the Ultimate Fighter. It was the first time coming back last year. Pretty much, he is prolific in that division.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a very tough division. This will be, I think, his second time defense. He beat Max Holloway. After he won the belt.
Mm-hmm.
Zombie is good.
Yep.
Zombie's been around for a long time. Very calculated fighter. Got a lot of skills. He likes to slip and weave. He got length. He's good in the pocket. His strength or his length. Counter. Not just punching, but counter kicking, just counter reacting on things like that. And surprisingly, a lot of people sleep on this. He got great power.
Yeah, he does.
He has power.
He definitely comes in with that right. That right has great power.
He has a very, very stiff jab. He comes from tricky angles. He loves to come from angles that's out of sight. He throws his jab at a weird angle that you kind of don't see sometimes, as well as a very sneaky uppercut that's kind of known as his signature punches. And if you don't understand why he has a signature punch, it's because he's been around for fucking 15 years. And no one knows who he is. It makes no sense. It drives me crazy because he's literally been a household name for people who actually know fight games.
Exactly. Because he moves slow and he's had a few up and downs in his career.
The Korean Zombie nickname came from his moniker of being
punched all the time and his face turning
the
into
wars. He used to be in back and forth wars of just brutal onslaughts.
His face would literally like turn into a zombie, would swell up into a zombie favorite, sometimes. Clearly.
But he's not like that no more.
Doesn't get knocked out.
He's calculated. He's precise. He's accurate. Like he's not that fighter.
That's
anymore.
for sure.
So he's definitely gonna he got a good overall game. He's gonna try to rely on his pure head movement. Real good at evading. He's also good at takedowns. Like he's actually good at moving from guard to guard. He has a good back game when it comes to defending, and he's pretty much has one of the best triangles in the division. Because once he get them legs wrapped around you, it's pretty much over. Once he got that guard on you, it's pretty much good. So I expect some good things for him, and I love the fact that he's getting a chance for the title. Yeah,
that's definitely good for him. I'm definitely glad about it. Yeah.
But on the other end, he's facing pretty much the epitome of a well-rounded fighter.
Right.
Of everything is just perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously every fighter has weaknesses, but Volkanovski just don't bring that many things wrong. And if you don't understand why, his stature, he sat there and he has a count. Okay, so he has the most rarest distinctive counter reacting and counter punching style. His counter punching is based off him using feints.
Yeah, definitely.
To get you to react. And then he throws combos off those reactions. So he doesn't, you would think counter punching, you think if I'm trying to counter punch against you, you have to throw a punch.
Right.
For
throw
me to react
to that punch.
To then counter.
He doesn't.
He moves forward. Forces a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And doesn't allow you to throw a punch. He counters off your reaction off of his feint. This shit is magical to watch. That's what I'm saying. I'm a boxer fan first. So for me, watching shit like that is like my man is
definitely
prolific.
His skills are on another level at that point.
His IQ is ridiculous. And he's shown that, come on, the best boxer in the UFC. Max Holloway got torched.
He did get torched twice.
He got torched.
Wasn't it twice, I think?
You know what I'm saying? Like, he went out there and made a brutal war against Brian Ortega.
Yep.
Just like, 2 years ago. Like, He's going out there and he's pushing the pace. He's pushing the fighters. He pretty much not only does everything good, but he does everything better than most people in his division.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that point.
He's one of the best.
He's one of the best.
All types of skills in that division,
and especially his stand-up game. His stand-up game is
and he's usually a shorter fighter than most people in that division.
He's very short.
And he still pushes the pace in your face, fucking you up off his counter reactor.
He's very short. He's going to be lucky in this fight because both of these guys are short. You know, they're both 5'7" at the same level. So at least he's got a guy his same size. And I definitely agree with what you said, that how prolific he is, and with his combos and moving forward on guys, and that's going to be
in your face.
That's going to be huge for him. I just think that Jung is going to have to be able to push him back with his leg kicks. I think that's one thing he's good at as well. Distance. But Volkanovski, he's definitely learned a lot. In the last year. He's gotten way better at takedown defense. He's worked on that a lot.
He's so short and his center of gravity is already there. There's not many people in the division
that are better than him
successfully.
And not only that, he's gotten better at his takedown offense. Like, I know we're watching like some stuff on him.
Wrestling.
Yeah, on him. Going in and doing some grappling and stuff and some grappling drills that we saw, and he's definitely looking a lot better. Obviously, he has the power.
He well too.
We know that he has the power too, but in this fight, who do you think has more power? Because it's very interesting. Because a lot of people say that that right hook of the Korean Zombie is very lethal.
It's a age-old question.
Who has that knockout power?
Speed versus power.
Mm-hmm.
Volkanovski
definitely has the
brute
power. Yeah, he definitely has
explosive
brute
power.
Yeah, so that'll be more like.
But the Zombie, like, his precision is his power. Mm-hmm. No, he also has power, but like I would say, Volkanovski has a harder punch, but Volkanovski has the higher chance of getting knocked out.
Right. Because
the
Korean Zombie knows how to pick you apart.
Like you're saying, like. It's weird to say. Volkanovski probably, like, you take him to one of them punching machines.
Yeah, he'll probably break that.
He'll probably, break it.
Yeah.
But in an actual legit fight, Korean Zombie has that better punch.
So that's a good point. I think,
and that's something
totally
that Volkanovski has to be wary of, not going into that pocket too much, because that's why he's going to try to pull feints and pull.
That's why it worries me, though, when you say that he's going to be going forward. It worries me because the Korean Zombie also he's very good at those combos. A lot of people might not. I mean, we know his name because we're fighters.
He has a signature uppercut that is known for no one seeing it coming.
Exactly, and especially like they like to grab each other by the head, and he just throws it very quick. He'll throw it very quick under you. But honestly, you were talking about the first fight that we were talking about, Burns versus Chimaev. And we were talking about the odds, the Vegas odds, but what about the Vegas odds in this? This is
same thing.
Disrespect, man. 720, under 720 for Volkanovski, and obviously like 500 plus for my man, the Korean Zombie. It's definitely disrespect. I think it should be a lot closer.
I feel like they've been trying to, like, this might be my personal opinion, but I feel like they've been trying to hide the Korean Zombie away from the top contenders for a while now.
Yeah, but he's had a lot, like, his up and down career as well. He's lost some fights when he's had like a streak of wins, then he lost like a fight, so it's tough for him to like really like stay up on top of that division.
But everyone else in that division is too.
Max Holloway's had a lot of losses. Everyone has a lot of losses.
That's what I'm saying. That's the whole division story.
And that's why the only one that really doesn't is Alexander Volkanovski.
He's the only one left.
And he's the only one that has only like one loss. And honestly, looking at him, you would think that he's just gonna go out there and literally with this brute force outbrute him and try to punch him out, but that's why we just talked about the Korean Zombie is called the Korean Zombie for a reason. He can take a punch. Yeah. He can take a punch. Only thing that worries me is that the significant strikes landed per minute are definitely on Volkanovski's side. He gets almost 7 per minute, whereas my man the Korean Zombie only gets like 4. So these are the big strikes. Like the uppercuts, the huge like punches, the huge kicks. Like those are more on Volkanovski's side. So I don't know. I don't know with this one. This is, even though like the odds are crazy for this one. Let's analyze and predict this one. What do you think about this one? Who you got in this championship matchup? Volkanovski versus the Korean Zombie.
Definitely gonna be a bloody battle. They're both used to their own specific styles of counter punching and counter reacting, so they're definitely gonna force each other's hand a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's just their game, and it's gonna come down to who's gonna do it better.
Right.
Like neither one of them is gonna try to. That's the thing. Like if they're both fighting each other, they know that they're both gonna try to force each other's hand, but neither one of them was gonna be like, all right, well let me not do that.
Mm-hmm.
They're both thinking, I'm just gonna do mine.
Right. They're not gonna make many mistakes. Right.
They're just gonna try to force you, like, and it's gonna be a chess match in that cage, and I can't. And that's why it's a main event, man. It's gonna be good because I think Volkanovski is gonna lean a little bit more towards kicks because of Zombie likes to lean heavy with his legs because he kind of likes to force you to come in a little bit. Volkanovski is gonna try to freeze him with the feints, try to get him to react so he can get a couple combos off. If he goes to the ground, it's gonna be difficult for a Zombie to change levels on Volkanovski.
Right.
So I don't see the Zombie taking a lot of shots. So I suggest or think it's gonna be more of a stand-up fight. And
I can see that for sure. That's what I.
Korean is actually the most dangerous position for Volkanovski in this fight is actually on the ground with the Zombie.
Yeah,
like he don't want to be there. Actually,
totally agree with you right there. I think it's gonna be crucial that Volkanovski doesn't get underneath.
He stays up. So I don't think neither one of them are gonna be taking shots very often unless they're in danger. So I think it comes down to who's gonna be able to set the pace.
Right. That's gonna be huge.
Much.
Yep.
Volkanovski is gonna try to pressure constant
push
in
forward.
Your face.
Yep.
If Zombie, and that's the thing, a lot of people don't understand, like, pushing the pace or keeping the pace or setting the pace
right
isn't just based on a fast pace. The Zombie is very prolific at setting
that pace.
Slow pace, making you fall into his weight and bait game. Like, he sets his own pace. So whoever sets their pace and gets that pace, and that's the thing, there's no way you're going to stop Volkanovski from coming. He's not going to sit there forward. And not like he's
going to come forward.
Both of these men are going to try to do what they do best. So Volkanovski, unless you pop that motherfucker a couple good times to where he's like, damn, I can't keep going in there. He's going to keep going in there.
Yeah.
So
who you got in this one then?
I got Volkanovski. It's going to be up to him to set the pace, and he's going to set the pace and stay on it for 5 rounds. I think he's going to pretty much do a great job. They're both going to be buddied up. And it's going to be a decision.
You got a 5-round decision for Volkanovski.
Decision.
Wow, it's a lot of things that I agree with right there. And I definitely agree with the pace comment that you made. I think Volkanovski is definitely going to be the one setting the pace in this fight. He's going to be moving forward for sure. One thing that's interesting to me is that both of these guys like to fight when they're grappling each other. Like they like that. They like to grapple guys.
Love the
yeah, they like the clinch. They love to get those punches in, hold you with one arm, get a side punch, get an uppercut. So they're both fighters that are known for that. So it'll be interesting if Volkanovski keeps going forward. If the Korean Zombie's not just gonna go up there and just start clenching him, trying to get him down, trying to pressure him more, like to maybe like not have himself go back up against the cage and maybe switch positions to try to flip him back and get Volkanovski against the cage, because honestly, this is going to be a tough matchup for the Korean Zombie. For him, to be able to win this, I think is going to have to come down to a submission for him. I just think that Volkanovski has too much power right now. He's going to be able to get a lot of punches on him. I think it's going to be a bloody battle for sure. And I do think that the only shot that the Korean Zombie has is a submission on the ground somehow, if he's able to get him down. And that's why I can't my heart go with him. I gotta go with Volkanovski, and I gotta go this in the early matchup, probably in the 3rd round as a knockout. I think that he's gonna be bloodied up a lot. Both of these guys are gonna take punches though. I don't think that I think that they're both gonna be very close in the rounds. Actually, like the first round is definitely gonna be close. Second round, I think Volkanovski's gonna start stepping it up, and that third round, I think is gonna be a knockout. By him. I think he's gonna have the power. I think he's gonna get a right or a left, a few combos, and get it. So that's what I got. I got a knockout in the third.
He hasn't had a knockout
in a while. Yeah. Over like 5 fights. It's been it's been like 5 fights.
People out anymore.
Over 3. Yeah, I definitely agree. Like it's been a while, but I just think that the style, like the Zombie likes. I know he likes getting punched, and I know he can take a punch. It's just that this man Volkanovski got a crazy punch, and my heart wants to go with the Korean Zombie. Because I love his style of fighting.
Yeah.
Humble guy, definitely a good dude to watch as well. Like, love his style of fighting. I love to watch, his kicks, his head kicks that he does too. It reminds me of like an old Marco Pro Cop too. When he does that, it just brings you back when he gets his leg up that high. But it's just that the brute power of Volkanovski might just be too much for me.
Oh yeah, no, this is we got a lot of fights this card where it's just straight assertiveness when it comes to these fighters.
That's
and
true.
Volkanovski is going to be doing that a lot.
That's true. It's definitely he's gonna bring pressure for sure. And let's just talk about let's talk about the championship aspect of it. I know this is a championship fight, but what happens after this fight goes down and whoever wins? What happens for the loser? What happens for the winner?
Yeah. If Volkanovski keeps his belt. Max Holloway's on the 2-fight run.
Mm-hmm.
Since he lost to Volkanovski and is now the number 1 contender.
And I wouldn't want to see that fight again at all.
I wouldn't.
Not at all.
So next, Brian Ortega's right under him. Just lost.
Exactly.
Volkanovski,
just lost
so we're not
again.
So
we don't want to see that again.
So next, we probably got Qatar.
Yeah. That's what it's looking like, right?
No one wants to see that either.
I mean, honestly,
Qatar just lost to Max Holloway by decision.
Exactly.
And then you got Giga.
Josh
just lost to Qatar by decision.
He just lost to Qatar. Yep. I thought Giga was gonna move up. Or was gonna win it.
If he would have won, he was on
a
couple fight win streak. That was. And he just got stopped. That's what I'm saying. That's what happens to everyone in that division.
This division
is why the Korean Zombie just got his chance. Because before his last win, he just lost to Brian Ortega.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, Qatar's next.
That's what I'm saying. This might be one of the most even divisions except for Volkanovski. And that's why I think
he's above everyone else.
He's above everyone else right
so
now.
So it's the same. Max is not getting a shot. Brian's not getting a shot. I think Qatar's next.
Rodriguez, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Qatar's
been waiting for a while to get his chance.
But here's the thing. Qatar was literally 14-0.
Yeah. At one point,
his last 3.
Man. 1 and 2. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
So I think he's next.
Stuff. Yeah. He might be the next one. But he needs
to
win another fight.
Do you know who two of those losses was against Max Holloway, and I forgot the other one. So
I think the other one was Barbosa, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't that Barbosa?
He started facing top contenders. So I'll be honest. I think he's next.
Yeah.
I think Qatar's next.
I think that could be.
That's if Volkanovski loses. If Korean Zombie wins,
right?
Volkanovski's getting a rematch.
Right. I think it's gonna be straight up.
They're not letting
straight up.
My man is literally, like you said, 23-1 above everyone else. They're not just gonna give another average person a shot. They're gonna let him run it right back.
So I 100% agree with if the Korean Zombie wins. I think that Volkanovski's gonna want that rematch for sure.
Rematch right back.
But now if Volkanovski wins, that's where it gets interesting to me because I think Yair Rodriguez is probably gonna get his chance next. I think that they don't want to see Max Holloway again. We don't want to see Brian Ortega.
He just lost to Max.
He just lost to Max. I know he did, but
nobody wants.
But nobody wants to see Max against
no
Volkanovski
one does,
again.
But everyone keep losing to Max.
And Brian Ortega, we've already seen it against Volkanovski. The only one we haven't seen is Rodriguez versus Volkanovski. So,
Qatar.
Yeah, and Qatar for sure. But
Qatar's top 4. That's
Qatar, like you just said, he's had a bad run like the last 3 fights. So,
well, hey,
he needs to have one more fight.
That's better than Yair Rodriguez for me. Yair's not ready.
I mean, Yair, like he's been
top. He's top 8. Like, he's not even close to ready.
Well, right now he's third in the
They put him
in
third?
In the UFC ranking. He's third. He's behind Brian Ortega and above Chen Sung, the Korean Zombie. Yeah. Even though he lost, but because before that he won like four fights in a row.
Well, not even because before he lost to Max. Before that he beat Jeremy Stevens. Before that, he got that no contest against.
He had a no contest, so it wasn't a loss against his record.
But it wasn't a win.
But it wasn't a loss either. You know, it wasn't a tie either.
Yeah,
so,
that's what I'm saying.
So it doesn't really count.
I don't know.
You know,
I don't know. These rankings are wild.
The rankings definitely wild sometimes.
Okay, so yeah, here or Qatar.
But I definitely think, like we said, this is the craziest division.
It is.
As far as like the.
And that's why I said if
2 to 10.
Volkanovski isn't a champion, that's probably the best division Conor has a chance of walking in and winning about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
interesting. He could catch
a few guys. Qatar. He could catch.
But he's not touching that belt without going through Max Holloway first. I promise you that.
Yeah, and I mean,
I promise
that might be a good chance for him to walk in and beat a few guys
That's
before.
What I'm saying, but he's not,
before he can go up there.
He's gonna have to touch Max Holloway before he can even get a chance at that belt.
Oh yeah, that would be a good matchup.
I don't care what
actually.
place Max Holloway is in that division. He's not going through that division
before Max Holloway. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Conor would want to take that fight. I think he wants bigger money right now in his career.
No one cares about that man right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that a lot of people think that he would take like a fight just to fight his way to the championship. If anything, he's gonna take a fight with a big name guy, or he's gonna take a championship fight to me. As far as Conor,
hey, I feel you.
But as far as like this division though, I think that 2 through 10 in this division are very close.
Yeah,
like they're gonna be moving around like crazy.
Well, that's the thing. They're all above average. Wow, Alex is exceptional.
That's what I mean for Alex. Like if he keeps doing really this, like yeah, I mean we're gonna have to talk about him, later if he keeps. And
that's the thing. He can't move up.
No, he can't. He can't do anything. He's very small. He's like 5'6" actually.
He has to stay exactly where he's at. And he's gonna run that division.
Yeah. But I think he's definitely, for me, I think he's definitely got the advantage in this fight. And the Korean Zombie, man, I love his game.
Good story.
Definitely, love what he's about as well. Very humble guy, great family. Definitely wish him all the best too. And I'm gonna love watching this fight though. It's gonna be a great card, honestly. There's definitely some on the undercard as well. We didn't really talk about those, but I know that you guys wanted to hear, the top 3 fights of the night, which most people are probably watching. The pay-per-view fights.
UFC don't only put those top 3 fights on the card on the poster.
Exactly, right. I mean, they got their faces on there for a reason. Yeah. And obviously 2 of those are championship matchups. Exactly. So,
the other one might as well be.
Pretty much, man. Pretty much. At this point, I mean, if they got Chimaev going up this high that quick. So, oh, man, it's going to be interesting. And we definitely going to come back to you guys with another episode after this, talking about the recap of everything that happened in UFC 273.
We're going to see if our predictions were right.
All right. And if I was right about that weigh-in of Gilbert Burns.
Yes.
We'll definitely see that.
Aljamain Sterling.
Aljamain, that's right.
Yes.
My bad. It was
We're
Aljamain.
definitely going to see that.
Right?
I'm going to be watching that man like a hawk. Like
wait a minute.
At 141.
He's like, you didn't get it right. He's like, they're going to give him that 141 and a half. And I'll be like, damn, I was wrong.
Got him.
But no, it's gonna be interesting to see, and of course that title fight is gonna be interesting as well. But we'll come back to you guys with another episode, and if you guys want to check us out and check out our other episodes, check us out on YouTube. If you want to watch the videos, if you want to listen, check us out on wherever you get your podcast: Apple, Spotify, Google, we're everywhere. We're getting on XM Sirius XM. We're there right now, and we're also gonna be getting on Roku soon. So definitely wait up for us there. We're going to be doing a lot of big things.
And you already know social media. We got all the platforms going up. We love the interaction. We love the support. Definitely let us know about this weigh-in. And just let us know what you want, man.
Yeah, and any other questions, that we got to talk about. I know we're going to go into other sports as well. Coming up next, we got NBA playoffs coming up. What else we got coming up? We got NFL draft coming up.
Yeah, NBA playoffs, NFL drafts. And then pretty much after that, a couple fights, and I think just a couple off-season NFL topics.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna go through some topics this summer.
NFL off-season. That's something I can't wait to go through. So we'll definitely get you a lot of content this summer.
That's for sure, and we definitely appreciate all the support that you guys have been giving us. So we'll see you guys next time on Who You Got With
Melo
and Rado. Peace, y'all.
Peace.